Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Productivity Boosters and Stress Reducers podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Heeb, and I can't thank you enough for listening in. Each episode, I will discuss a new tip or trick that will help you to live a productive and efficient life, professionally and personally. If you're ready to find your productivity rhythm, relieve stress, and meet your goals faster, then this is the podcast for you. This podcast is sponsored by Your Choice Concierge, created to make your life easier by providing flexible, hourly, personal, and professional assistance. Let us handle your busy tasks so you can focus on what's important. You can learn more about Your Choice Concierge by clicking the link in the description. This week's episode is all about managing and relieving stress. We're going to explore ways to enhance your well being and help you live a more balanced life. In today's fast paced world, this topic seems especially relevant. It also seems especially relevant after Election Day. So I think we can all agree that at some point or another in life, we all face stress. Let's be real. I would say a completely stress free life just doesn't exist. But if I'm wrong and you think that you're living a completely stress free life, please get in touch with me. I need to know all your secrets. But the point of this episode isn't learning how to eliminate stress altogether. Trust me, I wish that was possible. But this episode will hopefully help you to manage the stress that you do have effectively through various methods that will help you regain your balance and your calmness in life. So, let's start by taking just a minute or two and getting a better understanding of what stress actually is. The easiest way to define it is that it's our body's response to any demand or challenge. While, of course, a certain amount of stress can be motivating in some ways, a lot of stress or chronic stress will take a toll on your mental health and your physical health. So, some of the most common triggers for stress include things like work deadlines, family responsibilities, financial pressures, health issues, and really just any major life changes could really be stress inducing for people. But of course, stress isn't one size fits all. And what stresses out one person may not stress out another person, vice versa. Same can be said for the symptoms of stress. So, symptoms of stress can vary depending on the person. There are, of course, more common effects of stress on the body, though. So, some of the more common effects you may experience are some physical symptoms, such as headaches, tight muscles, fatigue. There are also more common emotional symptoms, such as irritability, anxiety, and just really a general feeling of being overwhelmed. And there are some people that even exhibit some behavioral symptoms when they experience stress. So that would be like the inability to sleep or a change in your eating habits, for example. Now that we've covered a little bit about what stress is and how it could affect you, I want to talk about some ways to manage or relieve that stress. My first tip is to try meditation. I personally put on a meditation at night before I go to bed. But any time of the day that you're feeling stressed or really any time that you think it would help you to relax and calm down, you can meditate. The practice of meditation is just getting you to focus your mind and eliminate distractions so that you can achieve a state of more calmness and clarity. It can help you to reduce anxiety. It also improves your emotional health and it enhances your self awareness. And also, guess what? It's 2024, about to be 2025. So, as you can imagine, there are several apps that are available that you can use to make meditation super, super easy. So these apps will guide you through the entire process to make sure you're getting the most out of your meditation time. Okay. I personally am one that's easily distracted. So when I try to meditate on my own with just silence in my mind, it doesn't typically turn out the way that I planned. So I highly recommend using these apps, especially if you are new to meditation or again, if you're like me and you find yourself easily distracted. So, um, check out those apps. I'm not going to name any. There are hundreds out there right now. I would just say do your research and find one that works best for you. So, another helpful technique I want to discuss is mindful breathing. So, your breath is actually directly connected to your nervous system. By controlling it, you can quickly calm both your mind and your body. There are a few different breathing techniques that I find to be most effective. So, the first one is the box breathing method. So, you will inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold again for 4. So, you'll just want to repeat that until you feel calmer. Easy, right? Most of these are pretty easy. So the next one is the 4-7-8 breathing method. So for this one, you will inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds. So this technique should help slow your heart rate down and relax your muscles. Also, super easy, not hard. The last one is belly breathing. This method simply involves breathing deeply into your abdomen rather than shallowly into your chest. When you're doing this, you should feel the tension in your body ease and the stress leaving. So, just a few easy breathing techniques to try. There are others out there if you want to do a little bit more research into the breathing methods. But if you don't think that meditation or breathing techniques are for you, you can also try exercise or other physical activity as a way to manage your stress. So, physical activity will release endorphins into your body. These endorphins are natural mood boosting chemicals inside of us. So, of course, there are endless types of exercise and physical activity that will help, but there are 3 types that I find to be especially helpful for stress management, okay? So, the first is yoga. Obviously, most of us have heard of yoga before. It combines those meditation and breathing exercises that I already discussed with physical activity. So, not only will it improve your mentality and help you release that stress, but as an added bonus, it will also improve your flexibility. Another physical activity that I find helpful for stress management is running. So I know not everyone finds running enjoyable. Some of you out there may not be able to run. So if you have knee problems or hip problems, things like that, running may not be an option for you. But really, any type of cardio will help release those same endorphins and reduce your stress. Even walking regularly is enough if you don't enjoy a lot of physical activity. Strength training is also a good option for releasing stress. Plus, you build muscle while doing it. So that's just another option. It is important to remember that it doesn't require a lot of physical activity to help you manage your stress, right? We're all busy. You don't need to spend hours in the gym. Even spending 10 to 20 minutes walking can make a significant difference in how you feel. I personally block my calendar every day to get in at least 30 minutes of walking. I prefer to be outside, but once the weather changes and it's a little cold for me, I even have a walking pad. So simply pop that out of the closet and walk for at least 30 minutes a day. If I can make an hour fit into my schedule, I will definitely walk an extra 30. I just want to emphasize that I think it's really important to prioritize and make time for just a little endorphin producing activity every day. I know personally that on days that for some reason I cannot make any time for this, I can definitely feel a difference in my mood and my stress levels. I'm sure the people around me can probably tell a difference too. So, again, it doesn't have to be a lot. Even a 10-minute walk will make a difference. Okay, so now let's jump into something that is, of course, near and dear to my heart, and that is delegating. So I know I oftentimes find myself over a little bit more stressed when I'm taking on too much. So whether it's in my personal life or my business efforts or both, I quickly find myself ready to shut down when I have too much on my plate. So that's where delegating comes in. And of course, by learning how to delegate some of our responsibilities, whether at work or at home, you can significantly reduce those stress levels. So, for this to work, you definitely need to make sure you're delegating effectively. So, believe it or not, there is a wrong way to delegate. So, I suggest the first step is to identify which of your tasks or responsibilities can be delegated. So, not all of your tasks are going to fall into this category. Um, I suggest starting by writing down all of your to dos or tasks. That way, you can get a real clear picture of everything that's on your plate. Next, take that list and highlight or mark or whatever everything on that list that only you can handle. So, those are things that cannot be delegated. For example, things like going to the gym, although some days I wish I could delegate that. That would be things like signing contracts or spending time with your family. You also want to think about and mark off things that you can't clearly describe or easily instruct someone else to do. So, if you think you're going to spend or you would spend a lot of time trying to teach someone how to do something, or if you'll spend a lot of time answering questions about the unclear task, it is probably not worth your time to delegate. So, just something to think about. Once you've done this and you have that list, what's left on your list should be things that you're able to more easily hand off. And of course, if you've gotten this far with your list and you know what you want to delegate, but then you're not sure who to delegate it to, that's when you give me a call. That's why Your Choice Concierge was created, and we want to help you by becoming your productivity boosters and stress reducers, and help you knock stuff off your to do list and keep you stress free. But yeah, so hopefully you'll find this episode useful and you'll be able to take what I've discussed to help you manage and or relieve some of your stress. It is a known fact that stress is inevitable, but managing it doesn't have to be overwhelming if you incorporate some of the things I've suggested. If you, for example, find yourself stressed today, I challenge you to try one of these techniques and see if it makes a difference. And of course, remember that stress relief isn't about doing all of these techniques, right? It's about finding what works for you and sticking to it. So that's all for this week's episode of Productivity Boosters and Stress Reducers. Be sure to check back soon for our next episode. I'll be discussing workspace optimization. If you want to learn more about stress management, have feedback about this episode, or a specific topic you'd like to hear about in the future, please email me at info@yourchoice-concierge.com. I'd love to hear from you. Make sure you also subscribe to the Your Choice Concierge YouTube channel, where you can find some examples of the tips and tricks I discuss on the show. Thanks again for listening. I'm Stephanie Heeb, and I hope you'll join me next time for more tips and tricks to live a productive and efficient life, professionally and personally. Have you considered starting your own podcast but haven't had the time? Check out Buzzsprout. They make launching and managing your podcast effortless. Trust me, if I can do it, anyone can. Clicking the Buzzsprout link in the description will let them know we sent you and get you a $20 Amazon gift card if you decide to sign up for a paid plan. Thanks again to our sponsor, Your Choice Concierge. Until next time, productive people.